Her name, Amy Carlson. She also went by Leah, but best known as Mother God.
I am the Holy Spirit. I am Great Spirit. I am the Mother of Creation. I'm here. So I have a message to read to you. Ding! Love forever reigns on earth as it is in heaven. All atoms who deny this message will be recycled into right action. Period. End transmission, and all love is everywhere present.
Leader of the group, Love Has Won.
Love has won. Yippee!
The leader of a cult was found dead and mummified in a sleeping bag wrapped with Christmas lights in southern Colorado.
Reports say it had glitter and Christmas lights on.
I'm really not sure what to think about this whole thing.
Those 7 members are now being held in the Rio Grande County Jail.
I've never seen a group of people be so nonchalant about a dead person in their back room.
How did she die?
Ken, I actually do not have an answer for that. Sincerely, I don't know.
With Christmas lights and glitters?
Corporal Steve Hansen says he has seen a lot during his 8 years with the Saguache Sheriff's Department, but nothing like what he saw inside this house in Crestone last week.
I knew that I was hurting God, and I kept doing it.
Yes.
Surrender! Surrender when you have stolen from God!
My own light workers battle me! Chicken Parmesan!
Choose love now. Ding! I love you. We love you. Namaste.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Today I want to talk about Mother God, aka Amy Carlson, aka leader of Love Has Won. Love Has Won is a cult to some people, a religion to other people. According to the IRS, they're a non-profit religious organization, which means they don't have to pay taxes. Mother God was found dead in the headquarters of Love Has Won organization, and she was mummified, wrapped in Christmas lights, and her eyes were missing, and there was like glitter all over her face. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna Google this. And that's where I came up with this video. I need to talk to someone about this cult, religious group, whatever you want to call it. I have to thank my subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, the kind comments you leave me just watching. I appreciate that. If you are new here, hi. This is me. I usually wear a tinfoil hat. Today I'm wearing the beanie that I made that I'm selling. Link in description, noorjasmine.com. I make these, well, I didn't make them, but I designed them, and I'm going to pack them and ship them to you myself. So the whole thing started on April 28th, 2021. Miguel Lamboy went to police to report a corpse. He reported a corpse. So let me tell you what happened. The way it happened was kind of weird. He's a member of Love Has Won. He's known Mother God since the early times. He said that she cured him of cancer over the phone. It's a whole thing. He was at the compound in Colorado. They had all fled, and I'll tell you about why they fled and the whole thing a little bit later, but basically they were gone. He thought they were in California. Then they show up to the Colorado compound. And so, you know, he says hi, whatever, but then he leaves. He said that he was gathering supplies to renovate the compound, and so he really wasn't there. He didn't really notice that Mother God's corpse was in the house. Then comes the day when Jason, aka Father God, he tells him, come here, come see Mother. That's when he saw Mother God. And Jason, Father God, told him to hug her. And so he freaks out and he's like, no, I don't want to hug her. Actually, I want to leave. He starts to leave and the other members get angry. 2 members were outside in the driveway. One of them was like yelling at him, and that's when he like took his stuff and started putting it in the car. Now keep in mind, Miguel has a 2-year-old son, and he wanted to grab his 2-year-old son and take him with him as he left. But then another member called Karen apparently snatched the little boy, and then Miguel got scared because he said that, you know, there were these people that had a dead body and they were mad and they were asking him about finances, and so he left without his son. the 2-year-old son that got shot, he left. He said that, this is according to Miguel, he said that he then drove to the Salida police. There's another police jurisdiction that they're actually in, but he said that they don't trust them and they're crazy or whatever. So he drove 75 miles all the way to a different jurisdiction to report this to the police. They have their search warrant and they all of a sudden descend on this compound. There's pictures of this from neighbors. And when they enter, they notice that there was a 13-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy that were fast asleep. And then they see a bedroom and there is Mother God's corpse. Once they see that there's a corpse that's been there for a while and that there are children in the home, they arrest all 7 members of the cult or religious organization that were in the house. From what they saw, they don't really think foul play was involved, but they think that the crimes that occurred, after she was dead. So they tampered with a corpse. Then they also got charged with child abuse because they said that, they had this dead body around the kids. And then they also charged Karen with I think kidnapping because she took the kid. She napped the kid. They gave the 2-year-old boy back to Miguel, who came and told him what was going on. They took the 13-year-old girl and they put her in Child Protective Services. They said that there were other members that weren't at the house at the time. They didn't arrest them, but they might if the investigation leads them in that direction. To be clear, none of these members have been charged yet with actually, killing her. Now, according to police, the reason why her eyes weren't there was because of the decomposition, and they guessed that it looks like she had been dead for about a month. The next question that comes up is, well, who knew and who was involved? Because the thing about Love Is One is they have a YouTube channel. They do daily live streams for over an hour, sometimes more than once a day. And so people started going back, trying to see how they were acting during this month span before she was discovered.
I wasted 4 hours and didn't go on stream. Mom commanded us. That is dumb. Mom's laughing up there going, yeah. Or down here. She's I
can see her laughing. The truth is Mom is in stasis, which she has been going in stasis from the very beginning. That's where she goes, connects with the etheric. She is peaceful. She's not in pain. And she is refusing medical care on her own right, because as a human being in her human experience, she has the right to refuse medical care and do this all naturally. And she's God, so they wouldn't know what to fucking do with her anyway. They'd be like, how are you alive?
God is the filter. She is the filter. She is taking it all on. She's taking all the crap out so that she can give back to you, her child, a better life. So in fact, the worse that she gets, the better off we all are. That's the craziest thing of all this. And the thing is that you go, why can't she heal herself? She's God. Well, that's a great question, because God can do anything. Why doesn't she heal herself? I actually don't know how to answer that question. Cool.
Yep. Embody your higher self. Love your mama.
Stop the drama.
On the 16th, an ambulance was called, and they told the ambulance that Amy was unconscious and her eyes were rolling back in her head, and that she was having difficulty breathing. According to this article that I found, they said a source says an ambulance did arrive at the cult members' rented cabin in the Mount Shasta area on the 16th, but were told Amy was not there and left. Then there was another live stream that same day on the 16th.
Mom is not good. She is very, very, very close. And that's pretty much all we know. She's slowly pulling out of her vessel.
There are 2 girls who were very active and almost the spokespeople for this cult, and that is their code names or nicknames are Hope and Aurora.
She's reincarnated from being Jesus?
Yes, she has the documentation.
God is a woman. Everything that you have ever been told is a lie. And the truth is that Mom and Father first created the 144,000, and then from there we began creating universes and planets. So Mom and Father created a plan, and 19 billion years ago they separated, and Father contracted to go down into the dark, and his lower aspect is Lucifer. So surprise, Lucifer is Father God. Mom started working her way down into this 3D realm. This is her 534th lifetime. Her biggest lifetime, of course, was Jesus. Jesus was a woman. We lived in love vibrations in the civilization of Lemuria. Mom was queen of Lemuria, and Trump was Mom's father in Lemuria, so we love you, Trump. The Atlanteans decided to steal crystal technology from Lemuria. We were then taken over by the Anunnaki, which gave way to the reptilians, the Illuminati, and then the Cabal. The Cabal, which are basically the minions of the reptilians and the Anunnaki, and they are the ones who are the elites, the 1% that run this country and this planet. And so anybody who has felt this call in their soul and in their heart and resonates with this information, you are contracted and your soul is calling you to fulfill your role. Please reach out, please ask questions, please book a session.
The interesting thing here is those two girls, Hope and Aurora, all of a sudden after that live stream on the 16th, they stopped doing live streams completely. They haven't been seen since then. And now other members, they have a lot of international chapters, are doing the live streams and the videos. So although the police have, for now, ruled out foul play, there are a lot of other people who do suspect foul play, and that is from the actual videos that they have posted where the other members are talking about her health and how they deny her medical care.
Oh, Mom. Yeah, there's no way that Mom, would go to a 3D doctor. First off, Mom just triggers people. There's been moments where Mom has asked us to take her to a 3D hospital, and we're like, nope. Try to take her to surgery. They would try to do some crazy shit. So absolutely not. With their technology of black and white, they'll see a spot and be like, that's cancer. And that's not true at all.
They refuse to call traditional 3D medicine because she's in 5D. She's a god. They're not going to be able to understand. Before she died, the last videos and pictures of her, she looked gray in the face and in the neck compared to the rest of her body. It turns out she was actually ingesting copious amounts of colloidal silver as a cure for whatever she was going through. And then in researching that, I found out that they were selling this colloidal silver as a cure for COVID, and that the FDA actually made them stop because it was considered to be predatory what they were doing. So they don't give her the medical attention that she seems to be asking for, which leads people to think why are you doing that? Then I found out watching videos from that YouTube channel, Rising Above Love Has Won, that they are so mean and cruel and just ugh.
You're going to be a paraplegic. You're only going to have the right usage of your leg and arm if you push me on this. I'm telling you because I'm Father and I love you. And I will always tell you what I'm about to do. That's how bad I am. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
I love you.
Kill me! Kill you.
Kill Roy.
I will still stand for love. You're going to get it. Thank you.
Surrender! Surrender when you are stolen from God!
You're a taker of God. An absolute abuser of God. Okay? And what did you just say you also were?
A liar. And a hater.
Insane!
Insane.
So you already forgot.
Mom says, and I will grant my children home in full forgiveness. Thank you, Mom.
And to stand by and live the rest of my life wondering if I could have done something. But in the end, I still obeyed a direct command.
My vision was chicken parmesan. I didn't say meatballs. I love meatballs. But I didn't say that. Chicken parmesan.
So this led people to think, well, okay, you know, maybe they got sick of her because she's so mean. They say that she was a complete master manipulator and that she would use mind control tactics, such as she would not let them sleep, she would underfeed them, she wouldn't let them sit for too long of a period of time. She was constantly berating them. They were constantly being told that they were lower vibration and low frequency, and they got report cards every day to see how high or low their frequency was, and if their atoms were correct, and if they were, you know, traitors and treasonous towards humanity.
Treason for all humanity.
So before she was Mother God, she was a manager at McDonald's, and her name was Amy Carlson, and she lived in Texas.
This is the Amy that I was engaged to. I believe this is down in San Antonio. I think she cheated on me as soon as we got home. I took that picture because she was a McDonald's manager up in Garland, Texas. That's down in San Antonio singing karaoke. I remember that dress. There we are together. That's what I look like without a beard. This is at our regular Tuesday night karaoke show. There she is at Skillman Street, typically singing Jewel. And there she is with her standard shots of 1800 Cuervo tequila. There she is singing again. And you notice there she has her standard shot of tequila. And we just went to our karaoke night in a limo just because. Of course, we went out to dinner and the karaoke after. Here she was kind of giving me some attitude. She can justify and rationalize almost anything. You know, I talked to her about, why did you abandon your children? She said, it was agreed, you know, like the universe agreed that I was to leave them. and you're like, how could that possibly be? But she believes that stuff, abandoning her children, and none of them want anything to do with her.
Then, according to her mother, something changed. When she was around 30 years old, she decided to leave her job at McDonald's, and she was going to fulfill a mission. She said that she was given a mission, and that mission was to save humanity. According to her mom, she read strange books and got involved with a man, and that's when she kind of started this love has won thing. She would get these messages from the Galactic Federation of Light. And I kid you not, she will actually be like, ding, you know, hello Earthlings.
With a message from the Galactic Federation of Light. Greetings, love beings. This is Mother God and the First Contact Ground Crew team. So honored to be here. Greetings, love beings. This is Mother God and the First Contact Ground Crew team. It's been very exciting and busy here at the Galactic Hub. Woohoo!
Ding!
I'm gonna start doing that. Ding! And I think it will go over well. And then 2 years later, she needed a father god, because remember, she's Mother God. And that's when Andrew Profaki comes into play. Andrew Profaki was the first father god. He took a 5-hour cab ride to the middle of nowhere, and when he went there, he realized that he had made a grave mistake because they were all off of this mushroom trip. They hadn't slept, and he said it scared him. And that's when he realized that the reason why she had all these hangers on, the reason why they dealt with her crazy, mean ways was because they were all getting messed up. They were all getting high, and basically they just put up with it to get access to the drugs.
A group mushroom trip, I don't know who would have shared that because we didn't have anybody around doing that with us. So I don't know who, like we haven't done that with anybody. So I don't know who created the story because we don't know anybody who did that.
Yes, I was crucified. I have the whole thing documented. I went back through the timeline. I experienced it all during a mushroom trip.
I watched fat Hawaiians bathe in the water while on mushrooms, and I hysterically laughed.
So before I went to sleep this morning, we're on this mushroom trip.
Mom had wrote, she was saying that she was on a mushroom trip and turned into the tree of life and then into a 60-foot emerald.
Once a week, every Friday, I would go on a mushroom trip.
And what's the other ones? What are the other tools?
We use
Weed, cannabis,
mushrooms, cigarettes,
mushrooms.
alcohol.
Where's my wine? I'm a wino. Cheers. Your step, I don't know.
One of the reasons why they actually believe Amy is a god is because of how high her tolerance is. She would fill a highball glass, I mean almost the whole way, with vodka and, you know, just spritz of water on top. She'd probably drink 8, 9 of those a night. Another member said that she had once drank 24 tequila shots in a row, and he also saw her chug a full bottle of very concentrated THC. A lot of them would say that she must be special because if any of them had even half of what she was ingesting, they would have died. But the fact that she's still alive and still able to speak and function means that she must be, you know, from the Galactic Federation, which brings us into how they accepted that Mother God was basically an alcoholic. And the reason why it's okay that she drank was because it was organic. You see, pharmaceuticals, they're not organic, but alcohol is. And so Mother God, she had a lot of pain because she came down to the 3D physical world, down to our level, the peasants. And so she's having a human experience, which means that there's pain. And so in order to dull this pain organically, she has to drink. She can't take pills because that's not organic. Right? So that's the justification. And then they all take keto, paleo, vegan, crack because it's also non-GMO. And I know you're thinking, where did they get the money from to buy drugs? Because drugs aren't free, okay? Well, that's where the YouTube channel comes in. That's why they would live stream every day.
Mother God's behind me. That's her on the blanket right there. We have a lot of blankets with Mom on it. Mom is God. She's your creator. She is the one that created everything, all of creation, all the atoms. She's the master of all masters, the master of all atoms. This is what we do now on a daily basis. We stream, we have our products, we have our sessions, we have our services.
Please reach out, please ask questions, please book a session.
What's plasma? It is 5D technology.
It is 5D technology. It's essentially just atoms of consciousness. Which spray has the most concentrated amount of plasma?
The plasma sprays.
The plasma sprays.
You know, whatever your angels guide you to, it's what is going to bring you the best benefits. And of course, one of that is going to be joy.
Yes.
I like little gifts. I even like little words. Money and all that. They're resources to me. They fuel the mission. They fuel us all to continue to serve love everywhere present. And little gifts I have on the wish list on Amazon, they're $5. Are you kidding me? It's a cup of coffee.
She's God, cheapskates.
I support love ever present. If you're not giving to that, those who support love ever present, you're serving a black hole. Period.
Now, Mother God was, you know, a bitch, but other than that, she was also very, very demanding. First of all, she would not walk. She would be carried everywhere. And actually, some people believe this caused her muscles to atrophy, which they think may have led to some of her health conditions. But yeah, she was like too special to walk, so they carried her everywhere.
Get 'em!
Woo! Mama! Mama God!
Oh yeah.
There's even this disturbing video of one of the members who was hoarding her own money, and she was like forced to apologize. They like put her on camera, they made her apologize, and then Amy was in another room watching the live stream, commenting, being like, "You're lying," and they confront her with it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm lying. Oh, I'm sorry." And it was just so sad.
I just want to apologize to Mom and Dad for hoarding funds and dollars. I had surrendered all my dollars to Mom and Pop, and then had nothing for myself, and felt like, you know, it might have been a better idea just to have a few dollars to to use for crafts and stuff like that. I didn't understand that if I wanted to create something, all I had to do was go and ask mom and dad for it.
Mom says you're lying, Charity. Coach
I
you.
am. Okay. I'm not
And
sure.
she said, "Thank you, Squid."
Thank you, Mom.
And that's when they did something really bad. They got exposed for it, and that's why they fled. Remember earlier when I told you how they fled and they weren't in Colorado? Well, this is why. They had this spot in the woods called Desolation Row, and they would use this spot as a punishment for members who they believed needed discipline or needed some time alone to, transform and ascend. And they would take people and take their belongings, their possessions, and then they would drop them off with nothing in Desolation Row as punishment. There's even a quote from one of their live streams that I found in an article, and this is what they said. "Anyone who tries to F with us will kill you. We will effing kill you because there's no time left. And we've seen our mom suffer so much." It all came to a head on May 23rd, 2020, when a former member called Alex was found wandering in the desert, naked, severely dehydrated, with cactus thorns all over his feet, and they said he was hallucinating. A few days before that, he literally abandoned his family, his wife and his kids. He took his stuff and he joined Love Has Won. He was seen on one of their live streams shortly before this happened, on the 21st. So 2 days before this happened, he was seen on live stream. He said, "I'm eternally grateful to have found the mother. I've dropped everything in order to be here to honor Mother, the physical mother Jesus on earth. We need you all to get here. Come to Mom and help Mom in all ways possible." And it was 2 days after that that he was found wandering in the desert, dazed and confused. Now, according to his family, they saw this happening slowly, basically, well, really not that slow, because they say it only took 6 weeks of him watching those live streams to become brainwashed and leave and join them. His wife said he watched twice a day and he would just like zone out. He would eat with the family and then like go and zone out and like watch the live stream. The family realized something was wrong when Alex called them, and at this point he was already in the desert location, and he told them that he's coming home. He's gonna walk to the airport, which was a 3-hour drive from where they thought he was. So they were like, walk to the airport? It's a 3-hour drive. How's he gonna walk there? And so they started thinking, okay, that's really weird. And then that night they watched the live stream and they saw that he wasn't there, and the rest of the members were kind of talking about him in a negative way. The group spoke about, quote, not liking Alex's energy. They were laughing and said he was on the, quote, wrong side of the mountain, end quote. Core group member Kareem Jackson wrote in a comment in a live stream that they were, quote, not Alex's babysitter and were not there for whores that desert God. They realized something is wrong, and that's when they formed a search party. They were searching for 24 hours and eventually they found him, and that is when the media caught wind of the story. And there was this article published. Now there's a journalist, and I have sourced her materials heavily. Her name is B. Schofield or Schofield. I'm probably saying it wrong. And she is really good at doing these exposés on cults. So B wrote an article for Guru magazine talking about how they left this guy for dead in the desert, and so word spread that they were being exposed for what they did to Alex, and that's why they decided to flee. They left Colorado and they went to Hawaii, and that didn't go over well at all.
Despite trying to call Hawaii home, they were met with protesters accusing them of being a cult.
Never come back. For leaders of the organization Love Has Won, aloha only meant goodbye.
Now, the Hawaiian natives, they have a goddess, and her name is Pele. And Amy, when she got to Hawaii, she claimed to be Pele. And so they found that to be extremely offensive.
It's that belief which created problems while Carlson stayed on the island of Kauai. Locals gathered outside of the house, protesting their presence on the island.
They were telling us that we were invading them.
And Amy came out and was screaming like, I'm Pele, bitch. So when they saw that, they got really pissed. And she's like a fire goddess apparently, so they started like setting up these fires, and then the cult members said that they were getting attacked.
The level of violence that it rose to was pretty alarming.
Just broke the window right now.
Video shows protesters throwing objects at the home the group was renting.
They destroyed the entire vehicle.
The mayor got involved and went to them and was basically like, you know what, we don't want you here. How about you leave? We'll escort you. Where do they go? They go to Mount Shasta. Now, Mount Shasta, if you don't know, it's in Northern California, and it's another one of these new age meccas. And so they felt like they would be welcome there. And they kind of were for a few months. They were in this RV park. They got kicked out of the RV park because they had too many people in the RV. Then they got a cabin. And then that's when people suspect Mother God, Amy, whatever you want to call her, died. April 26th is when they got kicked out of the RV park. Between the 26th and the 28th, they drove with Amy's corpse from California to Colorado, and then that's when Miguel, I guess, saw Amy and went to police. So maybe she passed around the end of March. How did she die? What caused her death? If we don't believe it's foul play, what caused it? And if we do think it's foul play, how did it happen? So here's another weird thing, is Mother God, she believed that you had to be under a certain weight to ascend. Maybe like floating weight, I'm not sure. So she stopped eating. That's also another reason why she would not let her followers eat, is she's helping them ascend, okay?
God doesn't eat food, that's about right. I'm done eating. I'm on a drinking to save my life.
Literally though.
Literally. Oh, it's an experience. Going from a normal average 145 pounds to this morning 96.4.
Wow.
Which I wasn't very happy about. Nor is Robin or the Galactics.
So 2 of the 7 that were arrested were released on bail, and they were interviewed by media.
How did she die?
I actually do not have an answer for that. Sincerely, I don't know.
With Christmas lights and glitters? Is she going to be reincarnated?
You tell me.
God is a woman.
Appreciate you.
That's the divine truth.
Mother God is dead. So who is left now? Is it Father God? Father God was one of the 4 who were arrested for tampering, which is a felony. So he's currently in jail. He hasn't been bailed out yet. And so people thought, okay, well, you know, Mother is dead, Father is in jail. It's over, right? Not quite. Remember Miguel, the one who called police and got the whole thing exposed? Well, turns out that Mother actually left everything to Miguel, including the website, her money, the house, everything. Other members say that Miguel is a mastermind and a manipulator. So then he was asked by the reporter, you know, what do you have to say about this? She told me she wanted to do this because she had lost her ID, end quote. At first he tried to get her a new ID, but when that failed, he went along with her wishes. Miguel said Amy did it because she trusted him and they had been working together since 2012. He plans to return to the home as soon as it's no longer a crime scene. He has no plans to take over the cult as some has suggested. He laughed at the idea. I have a kid and that's my full-time job right now. Amy had told him her wishes were for him to use the money to continue selling herbals and to try and build schools. He said he's starting a new nonprofit and the money will be used for those purposes. I would love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this was foul play, or do you think, you know, it was an accident and they tried to like cover it up or delay it or something after the fact? What do you think about Miguel? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hear me out.
Greetings, lovely Mother of Creation. Shout out to Father of Creation. We love you. Thank you. My Kundalini energy is just like been going up and down all day long, really intensely. Here we come. Love has won. Joy reigns. Love has won. Love has won. Joy reigns.